Welcome to Basildon Retire Well TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Simon Rogers, and Simon is the CEO of Basildon Financial, LLC. Simon, it's great to see you today. How are you?
Great, Cynthia. It's great to see you too.
It's wonderful for us to do the shows together because I know so many people in the viewing audience, Simon, they have questions about how to retire with confidence and comfortably. Most importantly, having a plan. In your experience, do a lot of people enter retirement without a plan?
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's shocking. It's they'll spend more time, planning a 2-week vacation driving to California than they will a 25, 30-year longest vacation of their life in retirement.
Yes.
You know. So yeah, it's pretty shocking that happens.
Yes, because every day is a Saturday in retirement. And when you think about it like that, and it's like all of a sudden you're spending more time planning a family vacation that, like you mentioned, could last a week or two. A lot of people are retired longer than what they actually spent in their working years. Are you finding that to be true? People are retiring earlier?
Yeah, earlier, especially around our neck of the woods, there are a lot of state workers with nice pensions that often like skipped college and just went right to work for the state. So they're getting out in their late 50s, which is wonderful for them.
Sure.
I mean, it couldn't be happier for them. So yeah, and I think a general misconception that people run into is how long they're actually going to live. I see that more common than people overestimating how long. They think they're going to live to like mid to late 70s. And when I tell them that the average lifespan is like, late 80s, mid to late 80s, they're a little bit shocked.
Sure.
And so they, when you combine that with no plan, you're in for some trouble.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Well, again, people need to have a plan in place, and you're the perfect person to help with that, Simon. Let's talk a little bit about Basildon Financial. How did you get started with the financial planning area, if you will?
I kind of tripped into it accidentally. The funny thing, I've had my IQ has tested at like 140, 145. But I don't think that number applies to myself in planning my own career, because that number is like way below average. I'd start off, I've always loved math. I was top of my math class in first grade. And then I got into physics in high school, AP physics in a prep school. I went to University of Southern California in Los Angeles for aerospace engineering.
Wow.
Thought I just have that mind. I need to figure out complicated things, and that keeps my mind happy. But I kind of bailed on the aerospace career, and I'm glad I did, because it wasn't making my heart happy. And so I took a semester off. I thought, what do I love? What is my passion? And it was playing tennis. And I thought, well, I'll get that passion, give that passion to other people. I'll teach them how to play tennis. And so I got certified, and then I actually went to college to learn how to coach tennis. And my first job out of college was coaching the Junior Davis Cup team in India.
India?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, which was talk about diving in the deep end. To travel around the other side of the planet, first job out of college. A lot of pressure. I love pressure. And, with a lot of successful boys. 3 were in the top 50 in the world. 1 went on the pro tour and was regarded as one of the best doubles players ever. So that was great. But my career in tennis coaching, even though I loved it, wasn't feeding my head with the complicated problems to solve. And so I did some reevaluating, wound up getting into business, thinking that might be a good combo to get both my head and my heart satisfied. Did that for about 10 years. Like I said, I'm not too bright in this department, but it took me like 10 years to figure out. And actually, I really didn't figure it out. A job came to an end, and I thought, what do I want to do next? And I saw an ad for financial services, and I thought about it for a minute, and I'm like, wow, that's going to get both of those satisfied. I'll be able to figure out the complicated planning for my clients, and then perhaps not the typical advisor where I don't hold money in too high esteem, it's really what money can do for us. And it's really about quality of life and spending time with our loved ones and doing what we like to do in our life. And being good stewards of our money to make sure that we can do what we really want to do.
Absolutely.
And that's what, to me, what the value is in money. And also to help other people, hopefully, if you're fortunate enough to have a little extra. And so that sings to my heart. So I get both in this career, and I've been doing it about 20 years now. So it's been a perfect fit for me.
Oh, that's amazing. In 20 years, wow, that's incredible too. Let me ask you, we talk about how you go the extra mile for your clients. Let's talk a little bit about that experience that they receive when they become one of your clients, Simon.
Yeah. Well, in our planning, I like to say that we're holistic. So we don't just do and take care of what I'm licensed for.
Okay.
We work with other professionals, and it may be the client's team or maybe somebody from our team. Whatever the client chooses is fine with us.
Okay.
But it may be a CPA to help with tax planning, or an estate planning attorney to help with that. Other insurance professionals, some Medicare, supplement planning. And then we do Social Security planning. If you come to our office, you'll get asked if you have an identity theft protection, and you'll be asked if you have an umbrella policy on your homeowners.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't even know what those are.
Okay.
Umbrella policies. And so we go as far as we possibly can. We also, I think it's about personal touches too. So if we find out a client's favorite color is purple, when they're back in our office and where they need to sign a document, there'll be a purple sign here sticker.
Oh,
so little things like that.
You're listening.
To me, they mean a lot, and I think to our clients they mean a lot too. So.
Absolutely. It's that extra mile. It's giving that attention to everyone that they so desperately need and deserve. Because when you think about it from the aspect of the clients coming in, they've worked their whole lives to get to this point of life. And so often we've heard in the past that people don't even hear from their advisors when they have one. So the fact that you take that personal touch with them and that attention that you give them, that just speaks volumes, Simon. It really does. We have a special offer that you're going to be giving the viewers today. Can you talk a little bit about that before we go to the next commercial break?
Yeah, sure. We welcome people in to sit with us and go over just where they are in their situation. They may be working with another advisor, and maybe they just want a second opinion, or they're not working with somebody or have never worked with somebody, so they really don't know. But it's a chance just to come in and get to know us, for us to get to know them and kick around, answer any questions that they have. Kick around some ideas. Obviously, if something jumps out at me, I'd be happy to address that with them and that issue. But kind of give the client a chance to see if everything's okay.
Okay. Well, we're going to give the audience a chance to get to know you on a more personal level. We're going to actually play the commercial that talks about you and about a day in the life in the office. So if you don't mind, we're going to go ahead and go to commercial break.
Sure.
To the viewers at home, there is a phone number for you to write down on your screen. That number is 877-441-4901. You're going to want to tuck this aside and keep it handy, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you why. But first, let's watch and look at Simon, a day in the life at his office. We'll be right back momentarily.
Both my parents started off as university professors in England, so I think teaching's in my blood. What we do is very complicated, but we lay it out in a way that is very easy to understand.
It's just a matter of being able to convey the information that they need most to make the best decision for them.
You don't have to do what we do for a living to take a look at our plan and within a couple minutes totally grasp it. When you're teaching, you're really helping somebody learn. So I have a genuine love and desire and kind of a need really to help people. I think that comes from my heart. In England, you name your house like we name our dog. Every house has a name. And the house that my father was born at is my grandmother's house, and the name of her house was Basildon. Whenever I was over there, I felt safe, and I felt loved, and I felt taken care of, and I felt everything was okay. I strive to have our clients feel that same way.
Should something devastating happen, the last thing that they need to think about is, am I covered? Am I secure? How is this going to affect me financially? I think they need to focus on being well and spending time with the ones that they love.
They feel secure in that they can depend on us to do what we say we're going to do to help them make the decisions that they need to make.
And welcome back to Basildon Retire Well TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Simon Rogers, and Simon is the CEO of Basildon Financial LLC. Simon, I love that spot, talking about you and just watching you a day in the life at the office. And it's just an amazing gift that you're giving people. Not only the attention to detail, like we talked about in the first segment, but just designing that well-constructed plan for retirement. Because like we talked about, so many people that might be in our viewing audience today really have no plan in place at all.
Yeah, it is shocking. Almost everybody that walks in our office doesn't have a plan together. And I like to give an analogy that, we're in Pennsylvania, so if you were going to drive to California, how does that equate to having a financial plan for the longest vacation of your life?
Sure.
So, if you drive to California, you'd map out the route. So for your retirement vacation, you should have a written plan.
Absolutely.
And then you're going to decide how long you're going to go for, like 2 weeks in California. What is your longevity outlook? How long do you think you're going to last in retirement? And maybe pad that a little bit just in case you live longer than you expect. And then what are your activities? So what are you going to do on that trip? And so what are you going to do in retirement? You're going to pick up a hobby that you'll let atrophy. You're going to start a new hobby. Do you want to do some traveling?
Yeah.
Then we look at budget and, or rather, what do we need for the trip? What are we going to pack for the trip? So what do we need in retirement to, do we need a new set of golf clubs?
Right.
Are we going to buy an RV? How many cars do we need? And even things like, a new roof, because if we're in 25, 30 years in retirement, we're probably a new roof, and a furnace is probably going to work into the plan somewhere.
Sure.
And then we need to slap a budget on that trip to California, and we need to do that with our retirement. And then, of course, once we've had our vacation, we come home and we unpack.
Of course.
And we don't just go right back into the swing of things and right back to whatever we were doing. And that is like kind of coming home, where you in retirement, where you pass away, and it is your financial house in order. So when we come back from vacation, we got 2 weeks of laundry to do, we got to pick up the mail, we got to pay some bills probably, what does our estate plan look like? Is everything in order for when that day eventually comes for all of us? So,
okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Let me ask you a question. What are some pitfalls that people can sometimes fall into, if you will?
Yeah. Well, I think, not having a plan, there's a great quote: if we fail to plan, we plan to fail.
That's true.
And it's one of my favorite. I'm a big quote guy. In fact, in my office, I devised, and anybody can steal this idea, but I have little pictures, and I can change the quote out that's in there. And I can put my own quotes in there, and so whatever is working for me at that time. But so if we failed to plan, we're going to be in trouble. And it could mean, we're talking making sure that our nest egg lasts throughout retirement. So obviously the obvious thing is we run out of money.
Yeah.
And that is a huge burden for us. Other things is that we could come close to running out of money, and then we have to drop back on our activity. And so maybe we didn't get to that bucket list that we really wanted to do. Well, I'm saving that for retirement. When I retire, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, whatever it is. And now you didn't do it in the early years of your retirement, and maybe, if you didn't manage your investments properly, either protecting from losses or just understanding how much it's going to take and how long it needs to last, that maybe you get to the point where you can't afford to do that bucket list item, and then you've got regret. So.
Because then you're not really enjoying your retirement years, because you used to think about it way back when people retired, they thought about sitting on the front porch with a glass of lemonade, but that's not true anymore. Now it's like life is beginning again, and a lot of people want to take that time to spend with their grandchildren, like you mentioned, traveling, volunteering, finding something that they're passionate about, and all of these components play into a well-crafted retirement plan.
Yeah, and I think the number one pleasure I have is when a client comes to us and they retire with us, and then they come back for their first meeting.
Yes.
And it's that's where I get fed here, and my eyes light up, and I'm like, well, what have you been doing? Tell me what you've been doing, and I love to hear all about it. And a lot of times those meetings are kind of long, because it's like, oh, that's right, you're here for a review, weren't you? Like, we got to get to the numbers. Let's get to the numbers. But it's so great. Their stress level is dropped. You can see it. You can see how much more relaxed they are. They're happier. There's life in their face. They're not all stressed out, and I just love hearing what they've been doing. And a lot of it's time with the grandkids or travel, or it's wonderful. So.
Have you had I'm just trying to think, amazing bucket item list that just you were so surprised by that it just took you off guard, that was just so amazing? Anyone recently? I know obviously with COVID there wasn't a lot of traveling in 2020, but anyone want to climb to the top of a mountain? Or
No, I don't have any clients that risk taking, but it's something I might do. But in this past year, I heard a lot of canceling of trips, sadly.
I know.
So, and that's a great example. Like, do it when you have the chance. Don't put it off. And when you're in retirement, if there's something you want to do, schedule it, do it. Because one day you may not have a chance. And it may not be that you've passed on, but it may be that you have an injury. So I tore my meniscus, and so that affects my hiking and stuff, but you never know what comes around the corner, so do it now, and which includes getting with a financial professional to get this all set up, because there's so many things we put off. I do it too. You put it off, and then you're going to reach a point where you wish you hadn't done that. So.
That is true. That's a very good point. Simon, let me ask you, if people are in the viewing audience today, husband and wife sitting together, having a cup of coffee, watching the show, is it important for them to come in to see you at the same time together as a couple?
Oh my gosh, it's a little challenging and difficult when only one comes in, or we have a follow-up meeting and one of them misses that.
Okay.
They're a team, they're a couple. This is a plan for both of them. And we can definitely have clients that different risk tolerances or different ideas, and they can be, one wants to leave everything for the grandkids, and one is like, we earn this as our money. They have different ideas of what their retirement, and that's fine. And we got, my job is kind of help bring what they want so they're both happy. But absolutely, it's a team. I'm planning for the couple, not just for one of them. And so they absolutely, the best thing is for both of them to come in.
Okay. All right. Well, Simon, this is the perfect time for us to go ahead and reopen the phone lines to the viewers at home. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To the viewers at home, the phone number that I asked you to write down earlier in the show, well, you get to use it right now. The number to call is 877-441-4901. What are you calling for today? Well, Simon is offering you a complimentary consultation, a full financial plan review, if you will. Let him take a look at where you currently are in your life, and what are your dreams and your goals for retirement. Do those two things go hand in hand? Simon can make sure that you have a plan that's going to last you through all of your retirement years. But you have to do one thing today, and that's pick up the phone and call. The number is 877-441-4901. We have to take a very short commercial break, but when we come back, I'm going to have a few more questions for Simon about how to plan your perfect retirement. Please stay tuned.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. This is a $999 value that we're giving away complimentary to the first 10 people who respond. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have by running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review today.
And welcome back to Basildon Retire Well TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Simon Rogers, and Simon is the CEO of Basildon Financial, LLC. Simon, a great show that we're having today, talking about the most important thing, which is properly planning for retirement. So I have to ask you, in the experience that you've had through 20 years, is there one question that you get asked more than anything else?
Wow, that's a good question. Probably it is, can I retire now?
Yeah.
And I actually, I don't know why this didn't pop immediately into my head, because we just had a client in the office Friday that was the burning question. You know, people they know they're set close to the goal line, and they're just not quite sure if they've saved enough. Is it going to last long enough? And can they pull the trigger now? And I've had clients that, yeah, we've done it, we've met. That's what their goal is. Can I get out now? And we've done a full-blown plan, and the numbers say yes, it's safe to do that now. If follow these steps and everything should be fine. And then they continue working, but they continue working with this knowledge that if they have a bad day at work, that's it. You know, they're done. They're done. And for some reason, psychologically, that helps them go to work, because they know.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and they some of them have gone on working for years after that, and it's like, when are you going to enjoy this retirement time? You know, I know you don't care for it too much there, but it's a funny thing. But they love it, you know. And I kind of joke around and tease them that, hey, don't forget, you have a bad day at the office, you just get up and walk out.
Yeah, you don't have to be there.
Yeah,
you can go at any time.
Yep.
Let me ask you, do a lot of people ask about a tax-efficient retirement plan, and do you help people work towards that, if you will?
Yeah, they don't typically ask about that, but we absolutely do that. We work with our CPAs, and when we set those plans together, they can be very complicated, and that's where my brain gets its candy. So we look at, there's different assets. You can have non-qualified money, which is non-retirement money, and if that grows, you pay taxes on the growth, but the base of it you've already paid taxes on. So, and then you have retirement money in your 401ks, 403bs, IRAs that has been deferred off your paycheck while you're working. That's never been taxed. So not only is the base of it taxable, but all the growth is taxable. And then we got the best kind of money of all that I love the most, which I have myself, is some Roth IRA money. So you prepay the taxes before the money goes in, and then it grows tax-free. So we kind of look at, first thing to do is to look at all three of those buckets. How much do you have in each bucket? Then we look at sources of income. And those could be Social Security, they could be pensions, other sources of income could be dividends and interest from investments. You could have short-term, long-term capital gains, and each one of those gets taxed differently. So, for instance, Social Security, it's possible to have 0 taxes on it, or up to 85% of your benefits be taxed at your current income tax rate.
Okay.
So that's a whole different myriad of variables in there. And then we look at, with these sources of income, are they turned on? Can we turn them off if they are?
Okay.
If we have a choice of turning them on, what are the parameters of them? What are those details of that? When can we turn them on? How much would it be? And we factor all that in. And then we look at today's tax rates and today's income tax with everything I just listed.
Right.
And then we take that hat off, put our future tax hat on, and look at the future and see, with all those variables, what the future could be like, and then we look at estate planning. So it's fairly complex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Simon, do you think taxes are going to go up in the future?
I would, I'm not a betting guy, but I would say absolutely, with the amount of, 2020 was the biggest deficit we've ever had.
Yeah.
And we're at the all-time high in debt. And we have unfunded liabilities, which far exceeds the debt. So I would say it has to. I would say the government has to do two things, which is cut spending and raise taxes significantly, and it's still going to take us decades to get out of this hole.
Absolutely. And so again, it goes back into proper tax planning, if you will, into your retirement plan to make sure that if they do go up, like we all feel that they will, you're going to be okay at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of people don't realize the highest tax bracket in this country was 94%.
Wow.
And that was Reagan, and that's why I only made 2 movies a year. But even in the 70s, it was in the 70%, which is twice what our highest bracket is now.
Wow.
So people, that's in our lifetime, or at least in my lifetime. I don't know about yours, but it's, but we could experience that. There's absolutely, it's been done here before, so it could be done again.
Absolutely. So again, what it comes down to is making sure that you have a proper plan in place, one that's actually a living organism, if you will, that you can actually tailor and tweak as life goes on for all of your clients.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Becomes an art and a science, really.
It is, which I can see why you have such a passion for that, because you love working with things that are complicated and you make them simple. And so this actually works out really well for you and for your clients.
Yeah, and the great end result is more personal issues or pleasure is that if I can keep more money in my client's pocket and less in the IRS legally, it makes me happy. That's my second thing. That, seeing my clients retire and doing their thing, and then the second guilty pleasure is that. So,
Simon, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, thank you for watching. 877-441-4901. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We'll see you next week.